Hello, me again. Hi, I'm Zoe Hethershaw, and I'm just on to give you some more insight into the book I'm just releasing in a couple of weeks called Inside Me, and it's about my story. And this comes from chapter 1. Are you ready? Okay. All I can say is nothing. I have nothing to say. I am completely numb. My body feels like jelly and my soul is crying out. I have pushed down every emotion for years. I've walked through hell on earth, and now I have hope. Really? Do I trust home? Can I trust home? Or is this going to be another setback of running around after a man just to be hurt again? But what if? I have this small, soft voice inside me so calmly saying, I will walk this with you. Okay, now I'm shaking. My entire being is collapsed on the floor, aching deep inside my chest where my heart used to be. Tears flowing. I never believed I could cry anymore, but evidently I am, and it feels so strange. So I tell myself, okay, I will do this, and I will find my strength to walk this out, if only to see where this road leads. I'll walk it out. A walk, that's what I need to clear my head. Connecting to nature has always helped me breathe and gather my many thoughts, which can be a hard process as there's so many voices running through it loudly, especially when old doors of the past open in my mind, awakening the sleepers trapped by trauma. I always thought everyone had voices, as it's been as normal as I breathe air to me. It took me a long time to realize they came through the pains I endured at the hands of others, the ones that tried to break me and sadly succeeded. Even when I thought or believed I wasn't broken because I was alive, I was dead inside, because of my many broken pieces. I can repress the memories, but not my body ones. My body always remembers. It just doesn't connect all the pieces that my mind holds captive. Remembering all the different diagnoses that the doctors have given me over the years, from schizophrenia to suppressed depression to multiple personality disorders, I guess everyone wants to know about the many voices or the hidden ghosts I have carried around with me or chased me. All I know is they're mainly all in a bad mood and most often just want to die because it's the only way to forget, constantly reminding me of all the pain and shame. But I can override them in many ways. One of the successful ways, but most damaging, is alcohol, binge drinking of any kind. And that's when they all are stacked up against me, and I have no choice but to give in when the feeling of anxiety gets more than I can bear. Walks for me are good, especially whilst living in Vancouver down in English Bay, which is right by the ocean. I've always thought that I could live anywhere that was beautiful. To see my apartment is so close to it. I'm on the 5th floor with an ocean view, but on some days the smell of dead fish wafts through the breeze, reminding me that even this can be broken. Okay, I can feel my chest tighten and my anxiety is taking over me. I need a drink, a large one. My mouth is like the Sahara Desert and my heart racing, and the thoughts of just one drink, then go for a walk overtaking me. I have an amazing collection of wine glasses. The large ones are my favorite. They resemble fancy fish bowls, which are great at measuring wine because half a bottle is one glass. The glass from last night is still half full. Waste not, want not, as the saying goes. I knock it back, drinking without thinking and praying that there are no fruit flies in it. I'm searching for the bottle opener. I don't have a drinking problem. I'm fully aware that I have an escaping problem. And after the morning I've had, I need to escape. And the only way I can in an instant is to forget and drink into oblivion. Grabbing the bottle and glass, I head back to bed. Just for a little while. Well, that's what I think anyways. I'll leave it there. I'm pretty sure that everyone's experienced, especially if you've gone through trauma or the wanting to forget, or sometimes not even understanding that we have ways of coping that we've developed or we've learned throughout our lives that tend to help for a short while, but not for long. Mine certainly was the wine. Now I'm healed. I could take it or leave it. And most often I leave it, because I actually enjoy going to bed and falling asleep now where before I couldn't, because I would close my eyes and I'd get flashbacks of traumas, and those days are thankfully behind me. But it was a struggle. One thing I have realized is we all go through struggles, regardless of, and we really shouldn't compare each other's. I can compare mine to somebody else's and think, wow, is that all they've gone through? That's how I used to think when I was younger. Not that I'm old, but I'm on about when I was in my early 20s. But then I realized everybody is so unique in their own lives, and what they experience it's not what they experience, it's how they experience it. And some people can walk through life quite calmly and quite happily, and oh well, it's behind me now, that's done. And some of us can't. I don't want to give my thinking on that, but for me, it was at such a young age that first 7 years of learning is when you learn the most. Little babies are like computers, just storing all this data and watching people around them and learning. And I learned a lot of unhealthy ways of dealing with trauma, and one of them was to suppress it and push it down as far as possible and just pretend it doesn't exist and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, which is why one of my doctors saw I had suppressed depression. I remember one time going to the doctor and my mind was going crazy. I had a bad experience. And I went to the doctor because I couldn't calm my mind, and I'm telling him what my mind's saying to me, and that's when he tried to diagnose me with schizophrenia. It wasn't those voices, even though I don't even know what those voices were. But anyway, I just knew it was a reaction to what I was going through. And now I can actually, for the first time in my life, I can actually, when something comes at me, because I still have to go through stuff. I'm not immune in this earth, this amazing earth, from trauma or pain. But when I do go through things now, I can actually sit and reflect and process it. I can actually sit and process my emotions now, and I couldn't do that before. I wanted to, because it would bring up others. But now I don't have so many to bring up. I do. I like to sit there and process, and where did this come from? And why am I thinking like this? Where did I learn this from? You know, and go through the processing, like, channel of how I got here and why isn't this affecting me? You know, there's certain things I haven't dealt with. I haven't dealt with my father's death, and I know why. Sometimes the truth can be painful. But I've dealt with so many others. It's like I had this backlog of past things to deal with that really wasn't that important to me. But I do know I have to deal with it. And one of the other things is the whole point of falling in love with yourself is loving those quirky things about you. I love being able to admit where I messed up, how I messed up, where I messed up, with who I messed up with. I can admit those things to myself, and I'm happy to share them. But I don't believe I need to offload everything to everybody. And one of the hardest things I found going through life is people I would meet would often want me to explain myself, my behaviors, my thinking, and I couldn't. Because I would never put that much trauma onto a single human being. I don't want to give anybody PTSD. I just want to be me. And we all deserve to be who we are. And you deserve to be who you are. And with all your beautiful, beautiful survival mechanisms and how you cope. And they're all fascinating stories of your life, which are important. It's important to be raw and bare. And even 5 years ago, I could have never admitted the things that I do in my book because I was so trapped by shame. Why do I feel shame? It happened, you know, and I'm not trying to justify it. I'm not saying, well, I did this because this happened to me. No, I'm accepting what happened, and I'm okay with how I coped with it, because I did cope with it and I'm here today because of it. And it's given me a story. It's given me many stories. But I could never turn around to somebody and say, I know what you're going through, because I don't. I know what I went through, and it could be similar to yours. Yours could be worse than mine. Mine could be worse than yours. That's comparing. We shouldn't compare. We should just be able to just enjoy each other's company and the stories, and give each other a hug and cry with each other, get angry. When you get angry, I bought a punching bag, for those moments. I have it in the garage. And when I feel it in my body, I feel like, I just want to go out and hit that bag a few times. It feels great after a while. It takes a couple of minutes to get it out of your system. And I love what some of the studies that they've done on animals. Animals, when they go through trauma, they shake it all off and then they walk away. We don't do that. We bury it down. Let's not talk about it. I come from a culture where we don't talk about anything, and I was raised that you don't hang your dirty laundry out in public, and then I learned that nobody really wants to listen anyways. That's how I felt. So I just kept pushing it down and pushing it down, and every now and again I would explode, and sometimes that would be in anger, which I am truly sorry, and sometimes it would end in sadness. And then you find that in those moments where you drink too much and you want to talk to people, that's when you want to talk about it, and nobody wants to listen. They start avoiding you and not answering your calls because they look at the time and it's like, oh, Zoe's been drinking again. I don't miss those days at all. They seem so far away now. It's been a long time since those days. And I remember when I was going through a bad time when I came back to England for a visit, and it was very emotional. And I don't know, I think everybody thought I was going to drink, and no, I didn't drink for years. It didn't bother me, and I found happiness going for walks. I found connecting with nature, and because it was quiet, but it wasn't quiet. I could hear the birds, I could hear the trees, I could hear the wind, and I love waterfalls. There's one just up the road, and I could hear the waterfall, and it was just so amazing to not be in silence. I can't sit there and meditate. My mind's never been able to be that quiet. And if I started listening to what I was thinking, well, I've made a lot of choices because of that, so I don't want to make it a life's effort to listen to my way of thinking. I love hearing how other people think and how they've coped through life and how they've experienced different traumas. And, we learn through this life that, we're certainly not immune. I mean, we're all going to go through at some point the grievement process. And it is a process. And for me, when I lost my daughter, Maxie, when she was only 3 months, 3 weeks, and I was only 18. I wasn't old enough to deal with what happened. And because SIDS has, to this day, there's no reason why it happens, it sent me down a very dark spiral. And I had no one to talk to and no one to help me understand, and I suppressed it, and every now and again it would pop up and I couldn't handle the emotions, so I would suppress. And I enjoyed going through the healing process over Maxie. I can say her name now without being triggered by a memory of sadness. I can be triggered by how nosy she was. She was a very active baby, and it was beautiful when everybody was quiet. That's when she'd make noise, but if everyone was talking, she'd just sit, observe, and listen. Just like her mama. Apart from I had to learn the listen part. I've always got something to say. I'm getting better at it, not perfect at it. But going through life, I hope you have that someone, the someone that can just listen without their opinions and without their thoughts, and hopefully you can come to admire them for who they are. You know, we all need those elders in our life. When I look at the elderly, I get fascinated because, you know, I struggled through life so much, and when I look at them and they survived it, they got to this age and they did it. So to me, they did it. So I'm asking questions like, how, you know, how did you do it? And I've had some really good wisdom from a lot of that generation because, you know, we're going through things like pandemics and all that stuff now, but, you know, this one gentleman said to me, Zoe, it's just another wave of life. This one shall pass too. I've gone through many waves. And then he started telling me about in the 50s when they had a fear of the atomic bomb going off. You know, we couldn't imagine that now, you know, but that's what they went through. And then you've got all these different things that people have overcome and challenged. And I mean, they're still finding bunkers today that have been buried with people, you know, food and all that stuff inside them when they thought that the end of the world was coming because of these atomic bombs. Yeah, I guess we've come a long way, but have we really, you know? But at least now we have like social media and we can have these little platforms where we can use, but I just hope everyone uses it for good. You know, if you can encourage just that one person, that's good for me. Anyway, I wish you a good day, and I'll be on and give another little intake into the book. And right now it's at professional review, so it should be a week to 2 weeks. And my publisher said, then we're ready to go. So check out my website, zoehethershaw.com. There was links to where you can get the ebook from, or actually Indigo in England. They'll be carrying it. And I just want to say my publishers have been amazing helping me through this process, because I wouldn't have a clue on what to do. Me personally, I'd give everybody a book. Everybody. Just... But I also get that at some point, because I actually, personally, I don't read the books that have been given to me. It's the ones I go after. They're the ones I want to read, you know, and then I think, oh, I got to read that book. I can't go buying any more books. I have a library of books. And when I moved, that's what my sons that were complaining about carrying was all Mama's books. Even though I got rid of hundreds of them, I still have books because I love stories. I don't read romances or anything like that. I read true stories. I love true stories, autobiographies, and I love studying all different cultures of life. I think it's amazing. But anyway, I'll let you go because I don't want this to drag on too long. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. And stay true to yourself. Be who you need to be for you, not what others need you to be. That is a trap. And you will get caught and you will get snared and it will hurt. Be true to you, because that's where you find the beauty within yourself. And when you find that beauty in yourself and you plant that seed of hope and that love, and when it grows inside you and you start to renew the way you see you, and have some compassion for yourself. You know, if you've survived a day, you know, have compassion for yourself just driving to the store. You survived it, you know. And today with so many vehicles on the road, you know, anything can be something that we could struggle with, right? And so just have that compassion. And good job, Zoe. Say that out loud every now and again. You know, if you feel that fear creeping in when you're driving because the conditions are really hard, and remind yourself, you're a good driver. You know, you can do this. Just go slow. You'll get there eventually. And I learned a few years ago, you know, I actually policed myself when it came to driving, and I don't speed or anything anymore because I remind myself I'm going to be late anyway. When the police pull me over and I'm going to be there for like half an hour to an hour, I'm going to be late. So I might as well just take it slow. And I think my tribe of people around me are getting quite used to me. And I don't make plans. I don't like making plans because that's how you let people down. I like to stay spontaneous. You know, are you free today? Let's get together. Let's do something. And I like to be on my own too, because that's when I go through my processing. And I need to process. I need to process what I'm going through every week. You know, just take that time. It could be half an hour. Just journal it out. Sit there and, okay, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling like this? Where did I learn this from? Go through those steps. It really helps. And then if somebody keeps coming in your mind and you keep thinking about that person, like, why am I thinking about that person? You know, go through those steps of, okay, did they hurt me? Were they a good thing? Most people I have on my mind are people that have hurt me. So when they come into my mind, it's like, okay, I don't want to think about that person. Why am I thinking about that person? And then I go through well, yeah, they did hurt me. And it could be sometimes just what they say, their own judgments. When somebody judges you, it's hurtful. It is really hurtful, and it's hard to get over because all you want to do is lash out and just remind them who you are, what you've come through. And it means nothing to them. They're so stuck in their own self. They think that they've made it. They're so perfect. None of us are. That's a huge, big, fat lie. But don't take it on, you know? Just, I'm going to release that person. I actually don't need them in my life. You know, there's 7.9 billion people on this planet, and I keep meeting new, exciting people all the time. And that is awesome. And I have my tribe of very good people in my life that I keep in contact with. So, yeah, I don't need those ones. So you can let them go. Just do that process. So fall in love with yourself. Be compassionate to you. Find something that's good for your soul. You know, go hang out at a park. Parks are awesome. I love playing on the swings. I don't care what age I am. Swings are fun. And I can still go upside down into the climbing frame, which surprises me. But be kind to yourself. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye.